I just kind of laughed. I said, oh, Daddy, I love to. It's just not me. And my dad never pressured me. We just kind of laughed it off and hung up the phone. Well, after I sat down, a couple minutes later to finish eating my dinner, something down in here said so strongly, Joel, you need to do it. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I knew I was supposed to do it. I picked up the phone, called him back, said, you know what, Daddy, I changed my mind. I'll do it for you this Sunday. Well, Lisa and my mom nearly passed out. They were going to hear me speak my first sermon, and I was 36 years old, and 36 years. I'll be very honest, that was the most miserable week of my life. I so dreaded having to get up in front of people. And, you know, I even told Victoria, please don't talk to me until Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. I said, I'm going to do this one time for my dad, I'm going to make him proud, then I'm going to be done. I got up that, well, let me tell you this, on that Friday, my father had a couple complications and he had to go in the hospital. So he couldn't be there on the Sunday. So we hooked him up by the telephone so at least he could hear. It was back in 1999. It didn't quite have the internet like we have today. I got up there in front of there were 6,000 people at the church at that time. And I was so afraid. I was talking so fast. I had to hold on to the podium. My heart was beating. My first thought was, what is everybody doing staring at me? I had never seen it from that point of view, but, you know, I did my best. I don't know. I told a bunch of funny stories about my family. And, you know, thank God I got through with it. Walking off the platform, I saw Victoria. I said, hey, let's go up to the hospital and see what my dad thought. So we went up there, and the nurses stopped me in the hall. Said, Joel, we've never seen your dad so proud. He's beaming with joy. Well, little did I know that would be the last Sunday of my father's life. That next Friday, he had a heart attack and went to be with the Lord. And, you know, of course, you know, we were naive. I thought my dad would live forever. You know, as I said, we were best friends. But, you know, it took a first day or two, you know, you're in a fog. Couldn't believe what happened. But a couple of days after that, I felt that same desire to step up and pastor the church. You know, my mind, in the natural, I said, Joel, are you crazy? You've only ministered one time, and you're going to get up and pastor that church. You know, all those thoughts, but I don't know. I know you felt that before. Sometimes you just know that you know that you know you're supposed to do it. I didn't know it would be successful, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a step of faith, and I'm going to believe it, and I'm going to try to do this. And so I stepped up and started ministering most Sundays, but again, we never dreamed that it would grow. And so, you know, that was 1999, 15, 16 years later, being with you here tonight, seeing what God has done these last 15 years. I can tell you, we serve a faithful God. He's got the plan all ordained for your life. I'll just give you a couple points of this. Again, I mentioned how close my dad and I were. I used to say to Victoria, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do when my dad is gone because my whole world was tied around him. I say this respectfully, but what I thought would be my darkest hour, the death of my father, and certainly I still miss my father and I respect him, but in effect, it launched me into my brightest hour. You see, sometimes when you go through a loss of a loved one, a job, of a relationship, it's easy to think, oh, it's never going to be as good as it used to be. Let me tell you, a loss of any kind is not a surprise to God. If you'll not get stuck where you are and, like I was talking about, take the limits off of God and just keep moving forward, you'll come into a new season of your life. See, the scripture says that God has written every page of our life in His book. It's already been written. God knows everything that's going to happen to you. Do you know the mistake we make sometimes is we go through a loss and disappointment, a setback, and we get stuck on that page. You can't get stuck on a bad, great page. My encouragement is keep moving forward. Turn the page, and you'll come into another season of victory. See, like me,